Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to do our top 10 deck builders. Bam, bam, bam. There's this handyman down the street. He builds decks pretty good. There's a contractor.
I actually only know one.
That
So
lives behind me. He's pretty good.
I'm doing my deck right now.
have built a deck,
Oh.
so I am
yeah, but
my
you
own
didn't
favorite
make
deck
my
builder.
top
Did
10.
you
Sorry.
build it or did you construct
Dan knows
it?
one deck builder, and now you just found out I am. I'm still not on the top 10.
I don't know if you built it or constructed it.
Yes.
Because there's a difference between
there?
deck construction and
Right.
deck building.
Really?
Yes.
In board game mechanics. there
Oh,
is.
yes.
Great. So I
Great
have all
point,
of mine
Tim.
wrong.
I sure hope you don't have any deck construction
I
names
sure
on your
don't.
list.
I
Good.
made a point
Good.
to make sure
Because it's a
to make sure you did it right.
Then
Good
I'm
job,
probably
Tim.
wrong on all of them.
Okay.
But first,
Yes.
make sure you're liking, subscribing, ring the bell so you get all the notifications when we're releasing. Join our Discord because we're super active on there. And if you're feeling generous, we do have a Patreon as well. So if you can afford to and you would like to, we would much appreciate your
Yes.
patronage.
Yes, but even your interaction with this YouTube video is a great way to support
Right.
us.
Thumbs
Uh,
up.
Subscribe.
Pops us up in the algorithm.
Comment.
In the Discord, also
Yes.
super important. Shake your fingers like Dan does when he copies me. No, we get a lot of ideas for our top 10s from the Discord.
We do.
Like, hey, what do you guys want to hear us talk about?
Yeah. Is this
So
one of them?
I
no,
think
we
so.
don't want that.
Maybe on our live stream. We also do a live stream every Wednesday.
Whiskey Wednesday.
It is always Mike and I, and then occasionally other people pop on.
Other
We
peeps.
will have special guests,
Random guests, yeah.
as you will. As you
Sometimes
go
we have
through and watch.
designers that do Kickstarters and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes we do.
Sometimes.
Celebrities? Who knows?
Hashtag fancy.
Well, that's no celebrity shit. We're getting there. We're getting
I've
there.
been on an episode.
Well, they're not all winners. they can't all be bangers, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, guys. I'm excited about this list. I
Me
just
too.
want to jump right into it.
Okay.
Wait,
you have anything
is
to
there
do?
any criteria? Anybody have any criteria?
Yeah. Well, first of all, deck construction doesn't count. That's number one
Number one
criteria.
criteria.
Marvel Champions is not a deck building. You get that out of this. Oh, what was that? Did you say it was? It's not. And then let's see. Another thing.
Change
Honestly, this isn't criteria, but honestly, like I actually think this is really hard. Like to name 10 that I think are amazing. And this is why I've said in the past, my two favorite mechanisms are deck building and worker placement. And worker placement's always been number one spot because I think most worker placement games are good. Like the mechanic works. Deck building it's rougher, I think, for people to make great. Like I think that there are some that are amazing. Of course,
Yeah.
my number 2 game of all time is a deck builder.
Sure.
But
Too many of them don't offer wipes.
yeah, they feel no. There's just a lot that feel very
Wipe them.
bland,
them.
or the kicks are boring.
Boring.
And, like it's harder to make perfect. I guess what I'm saying. So like honestly, this is top 10, right? I probably have like 6 that I
That I
love,
love.
and then I have ones that I like. Like
Sure.
I'm just saying it. I think it was harder
That's right.
to do than if I did worker placement games.
Right.
Super easy to do 10 amazing or 20 amazing worker placement games. I think.
Sure. Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny as I went through my collection and I wrote down all the ones that I like and everything like that. I was like, well, I should probably look online a little bit, make sure I'm not missing anything. And I realized that I've got most of the games I like.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
few on my list I don't own,
Yeah.
which is rare for me. Usually
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I like all of these, so I own them. There's at least 2. Yeah. But I would own them in a heartbeat given
Sure.
the opportunity.
Sure.
I only own 5 of mine.
Ooh.
Dan's
I'm
more
a
of
poor boy.
a trier than a buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not certain how many of mine I own.
Yep.
All right,
All right.
Bobby.
Number 10. So my number 10, it kind of encompasses a few games. It's Aeon's End. They've got a few different versions of Aeon's
sure.
End, but I think it's got a really neat deck building mechanism where you don't shuffle the discard pile.
Right.
And I think that is a super unique. That's not in a lot of them. You're playing, you're discarding, you're buying stuff, and then you just take your discard pile, flip it straight over, and you're drawing right off the top. And I really enjoy being able to set that up and manipulate that. And I've played through the Legacy, the first Legacy one, and the second Legacy one most of the way. But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not on my list only because I hate the story so much.
Yeah, the
Story's
writing of the
so
story,
bad.
it sounds like
Of
a high
the
school
second
student.
campaign that you've
Yeah,
been playing
yeah.
through,
Even the first one writing is not
Sure.
great,
Yeah.
but it's an interesting story. At least the first one is.
Okay. Yeah, it's not on mine either, but I've only played the little bit of the campaign that we've
Right.
played, and I
Mhm.
do find the deck thing fascinating. I like that future building thing. Like, okay, I
Mhm.
know that this card's going to be before this card thing, right?
Right.
But I don't have enough experience.
Yeah, and I would say that, yeah.
That's probably what it is. Maybe a little more exposure.
Need some more exposure, and because right now it's like 50% 50% story and 50% like playing
Actual
the game.
playing the game.
You know,
I do have like the original base game too.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is cool because once you play through the Legacy, you can take your character and play it in the normal version.
Oh sure.
Oh, sure.
A ramped
that's
up
pretty
version.
cool.
and
Yeah,
play
you
a
know,
little
plus
higher powered
yeah.
character. Yeah,
But
that's
what,
cool.
2-3 times?
Okay.
All right, my number 10. I'm just going to go with my most played one. And if you watch the show, you know
Oh,
that
wow.
I've got games of this going all the time.
Right now.
Spencer and I have one going on as we speak.
Yep.
Oh wait, it's my turn.
And the second it ends, we'll have another one going on because we just hit rematch. That's Star Realms. Star Realms was when that game came out, the physical version. Even though I play it digitally every day, I haven't played my physical copy in years. But that physical version, I wore out my first copy. Like I bought it. We played it so much. It's still so, I really enjoy it. It's so fast. It's very straightforward. It's very easy to teach.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Legacy version coming out.
The Legacy version looks amazing. When we played it at Gen Con last year, I thought it was really good. It just does more of things that I like. And again, it's really straightforward. You have two types of currencies. Cards in your hand basically either do damage or they give you currency to buy more cards. And so the cards in the lineup, you buy them. They've got factions, so they can,
Proc off each other.
You can, have different abilities trigger and do different things. You can draw more cards. You can make people discard cards, all kinds of good stuff. And you're just trying to get your opponent's health down to 0 before they get yours. Very straightforward, very easy, lots of fun. Star Realms is my number 10.
Yep. I've played it quite a bit recently because I have the digital version. I think it's free on computer. Like you have to pay to get more cards or something. You can play the base.
I think it was like $5.99.
You pay $5 and it lets you play other people. The campaign, I believe, is
Gotcha.
free online.
Okay.
And then you can buy the expansions and stuff.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
the expansions are good.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a
Some
bit.
of them.
I find it a little too simple. There's nothing bad about it at all. But when you're playing it, it's very obvious what the best decision on your turn to do is, I think.
Yeah, it
and so
kinda is.
it's okay. There is a game that came out recently, probably be mentioned by someone here, that I think does the same kind of thing, slightly better, and we'll see. So my number 10 is just a group of games because I've played 3 of them, I think, and I honestly don't remember too much, but it's the Ascension games.
Nice. Yeah.
They just sneak their way on. They're all good. The one that sticks in my mind the most is the pirate one. But that might just be because it's the one we played most recently.
Yeah.
But they all have their own little gimmicks. But I really like when deck builders work in faction mechanisms. Most of them do nowadays because they're good, So you'll hear a lot of ones that are mentioned by us throughout, even if we don't mention that there are factions. There's probably factions in them that proc off each other's cards because that's just a really engaging way and also a focusing way to build your deck. Like you can be like, okay, well, it's my turn and there's only purple cards in the lineup right now, so I guess I'm building a purple deck, and making everything proc off this, right? And you can start focusing and really having chains and stuff. And I think Ascension does it really well. It's not the best chaining I've seen in deck builders, but
Which
it
is
is
why it's your
good.
10.
Right. But it is good. And the other reason is because, again, I've played 3 different versions. I don't find it super memorable. When I'm playing it, it's really fun.
Also,
and I liked the pirate thing with the, with
Right,
the
you can be
movement.
at a
Yeah, the
location, you get
spatial
the anchor.
aspect.
Yeah, the spatial aspect. Again, I
of
think
that
that's
is
why
really good.
that one really stuck in my head. But other than that, I'm just yeah, there's green cards and that heal you, I think, and I'm just trying to remember what the factions do in all the different games,
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good. Just not the most memorable. It made it to 10.
All right, Spencer.
All right, my number 10 is also Aeon's End.
Nice.
Because I kind of want to play it again. I want to see the storyline
Progress a little bit.
progress, and
Build your character.
yeah, exactly. I want to build a character up. I've always liked being able to build a character up and customize them in different ways. And I mean, it's fun. It's fine. Yeah,
Cool.
That was the most laid back crossover we've ever had on this show.
it is. Yeah.
Mine's also that. Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Continue.
Well done, sir.
I like how you do that.
It's because we were gentlemen.
Yeah, well,
Are we?
I don't
You
know
got.
about that.
We were not gentlemen when we were playing Thunder Road.
No, that's
No.
not a gentlemanly game.
That is not.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Not a deck builder. Not a deck builder.
Whole lot of that. Yeah, no deck building. I spilled my tea.
Yeah. That's a hazard now.
Yeah. All right, our number 9.
So number 9 for me is a cooperative deck builder, based on an anime that I really enjoy called Attack on Titan.
Now, which one? There's
Levi-
two.
Oh man.
The deck building one.
Levi,
Oh yeah. No.
The other one's on a
I
deck
haven't played that
builder.
one.
Oh, where you assign your guys?
Yeah,
to,
that
like,
was not a
where you're
deck
at?
builder. I don't
Okay,
think
got
it's
it,
a
got
deck
it, got it.
builder. No.
Levi told me, and I totally forgot. He told me to remind you to own that game because it better be on your list because it's so good. He said that.
That game is really
So-
good.
It is good.
And it's
I haven't
really
played it.
hard.
It is very hard, but it's super thematic too because you literally have this wall built out, and you have your little like standee that you put out for your character that you're representing, and you're moving between sections of the wall. The cards you buy are listed underneath there, so you got to be in the right section to buy the card you want. And then as you're flipping cards over, the Titans are coming at different sections of the walls, and you have to go to that section, jump on the other side of the wall, and use all of your attacks. And like, the thing is, you really want to work together. So you have like one or two people who are focused on building up big attacks to try to take Titans out. Then you have other people who are trying to work together, to maybe like heal or like work on like making sure the cards in the lineup are the cards that you want to get, and like and feeding through there, and like just feeding more cards to the people who are doing the big attacks, because some of those Titans are huge, and you got to really build up to take them down. And it's just super fun and thematic. Like if you watch the show and you enjoy the show at all, like it plays like you think it would. You have the outside walls, they get taken down, you're moving down, and if they destroy all the walls, then humanity loses.
Game
the
over,
Titans
man.
say- Yeah.
You said it's
But-
full co-op, or is there still a winner at the end?
No, it's full
No, it's full
co-op.
co-op.
Okay.
Full co-op. And
I
you
thought you said
have to work together to
Yeah.
save humanity.
With
which
Attack
is
on Titans, I'd imagine.
thematic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really-
So it's a ton of fun.
Is
It's
there
a,
a
it's a
traitor?
good one.
Hidden traitor?
No.
No.
Which spoilers.
Oh, all right.
What? Timmy.
I know. I'm just trying to decide. Okay.
Decide.
Decide how lists work. I believe
Yeah.
9 is next.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 9 is next. My number 9 would be Ascension. I do bundle all of those Ascension games together.
Is there one that sticks out to you though?
I like the ones that give you the Dreamscape cards. That's one
Okay.
that I
Not sure
play
which one that is.
digitally.
Right.
Right.
It's
hard to remember which one that is.
There's
I
so
don't
many names.
There's
Again,
so
that's
many
what I'm saying. They
expansions.
don't.
So
they don't
many-
like
There's,
pop.
there's like 8 standalone expansions.
Yeah,
Tim's favorite.
there are a ton. There are a ton. But no, this game plays very well. It's very straightforward. There's basically a pool of glory or honor or whatever, and when that pool is empty, game's done.
Trigger's endgame.
And then most points wins. And the nice thing is you can also play a longer game, play with more,
Right.
play a shorter game, take some out. I mean, so you can modify that. The one with the pirate theme,
Yep.
the
Cursed
Cursed Isles,
Isles. Yeah.
is really good
Mhm.
also, and kind of fun how you have to move your ship around
Yeah.
to get the different
Tactics.
cards and stuff. So yeah.
Ascension Tactics was
Nope,
super
that's
cool.
a separate game.
Okay.
Oh,
just
wonder
saying.
why.
But anyways, Ascension, all of those straight deck builder versions, really good.
Okay.
Uh,
Noted.
Okay, my number 9 is
Ascension.
it
Oh.
kind of plays like Star Realms, but does it better. This is what I was joking about.
Nice.
It did make my list. I'm expecting it to be on someone else's list higher, but that is the Star Wars deck building game.
Yeah.
I did finally get able to play it, and I just sat for a while afterwards and just thought about the mechanics and how it worked and the art that the game had and the different mechanics that like mechanisms that it had between the two teams in the row and everything. And I was like, yeah, I think it's really good. Like I really want to play it again. The main thing is, right, so 2 factions, Empire, Rebels, right? There's a force meter. It doesn't super matter. Some things will matter if it'll say like if the force is with you or whatever.
You did something wrong on that too, by the way.
oh, okay.
Sure. But if the force is with you, blah blah blah, right? You'll get a bonus. But the main point is, like in Star Realms, your guys either have attack or money. You have bases that come out. So one of the really interesting things is you have a main base, which is like a planet, and if it gets destroyed, you go through your entire deck of bases and you pick the next planet you want your base to be on and activate, and then that gives you a new asymmetric power. First person to destroy 4 main bases wins. But you also have like side bases, like how they work in Star Realms, where you
Capital-
have
they're
like
capital
ships.
ships,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
called capital ships, and they have abilities on them. But then also you have to destroy them in order to attack the other person's base. Now, the really interesting thing in it versus Star Realms that I've seen, I know Star Realms has expansions and stuff, and Hero Realms adds some stuff too, I've heard. But the big difference here is like, so there's one deck that is filling the row, and that deck is made of Empire cards, Rebel cards, and neutral cards. So if Rebel cards come out, they face the Rebel player, and only the Rebel player can buy them. But most of them I can kill. I can attack them, and I get a bonus for attacking them and clearing them out of the row. Same thing with the Empire cards, they face me as the Empire player. And then the neutral cards are just, I've even seen some people put them sideways so that everyone can see that that's not for one player. But they can face either player, and anyone can buy them. And I find that push-pull very interesting.
It also keeps it on theme too. new, right?
Right. Very
Han
much.
Solo is not all of a sudden like on the Empire side.
Yeah,
it's
but
like, wait,
some
what?
people, like what Bob said, some people like Lando Calrissian, right? Like the
Mhm.
Empire can use him because I can blackmail him and
Right.
stuff, right? Like
Right.
in the movie. It's actually
And Prey, I
pretty
don't alter this deal
thematic. I
further.
liked it. I liked
Yeah.
at one point I had the Death Star out, and you can pay money or whatever, but to literally just blast the opponent's capital ships and just blow them up. There's just a lot of cool thematic stuff in here. I want to play it more and really see more of these cards because there are so many cards. It's crazy. But I think that I don't, once it goes digital, you know, it's FFG, we'll see. But once it goes digital, I just don't think I'd ever play Star Realms again because it plays so similar, but has the faction thing going on, right? In the middle where it's like your cards and my cards. And I find that part the
Right.
most interesting part of
Because
it.
in Star Realms, like I can be buying yellow cards and you can buy yellow cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's nothing
And,
specific
yeah.
for that player.
So I guess it would be easy in Star Realms to just add, oh, you got a yellow captain, so only you can buy yellow. I guess that'd be easy.
Right, yeah.
But I just really like the way it feels in Star Wars because they somehow kept it thematic, and I thought that was really cool. With the powers as well, like Krennic buffs the Death Star and stuff like that. I think that stuff's really cool. But Star Wars, the deck building game. I was glad Bob brought it over. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And,
good
You're
pick.
welcome.
I was literally like, hey, we're doing this Sunday. Can you please help me play it? And he brought it over and got me to play it.
Well, and the nice thing is you can play that fast. Even with Teach, it still
Yeah.
goes relatively
Just
quickly.
30
well, it
40
probably
minutes.
felt like 10 seconds after everything Bob had done that day.
It was a long day.
Oh, my turn.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Mine number 9 is also Ascension.
Wow. Are you making this up on
No,
the
really.
spot?
Spencer
really
forgot to make a
was.
list, so he's just like picking the
what I
best
do.
one.
Yeah,
out of all
he's
three.
like, God, I'm last.
I
take
have
the-
one on here that I think you guys don't have.
You have
We'll
to take
see.
the-
Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of
Not
crossover.
Dice, the deck building game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not nice.
He's
Hilarious.
designing that one.
Oh,
You
that's
guys
an
are-
old joke, man.
Guys
Yeah.
got your lame crossover. So we later to number 8.
Yeah.
Then? Number
Yeah, I mean,
8.
not much more
Number
to talk
eight.
about
It was a lame
Ascension.
crossover.
It is what it is, and it's a fun game.
So my number 8 is Star Wars: The Deck Building Game. But no, for everything Dan said, right? It's like Star Realms but better. And I'm a huge fan of that being able to attack the things in the center row. I think that makes a lot of like cool sense, and you can keep them from being like, oh my gosh, Darth Vader! I cannot let him have Darth Vader. Let me hurry up and just attack him before he gets a chance to buy him. And I think that's
It also adds that because Star Realms is a game of chains to where this ability procs this, then I trash this, which gives me money that procs this, that does this. Like that's what Star Realms is. With such a simple system, it's impressive. It's able to work in that many chaining effects. And so Star Wars has these same chaining effects, but then also you can attack cards in the center that
Right.
destroys them, that gives you stuff. So it just adds one
Well,
more
and
level of chain.
And it's a nice way to clear the market.
Right,
Yep,
exactly.
Yes.
Genius.
or
way
you
to
could
clear
buy
the markets.
Jawas and buy from the discard pile.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
also
I was
fun.
like
The
that.
a lot of really clever ways to
Thematic
get around
ways.
a market thing. Because again, there was one time where the entire market was Rebel cards.
Yeah.
I can't buy them, but
But you can
I
kill
can
'em.
kill them all. And if you have Jawas, like he said, you can just buy from the discard, which is usually better.
Yeah.
Because that discard pile is piling up. Like, 'cause
Oh, what have you
especially-
killed?
Yeah, think of all the cards I've killed because I don't want Bob to get them.
Princess
Yeah.
Leia.
So yeah, and there's other times too, like just the thinking it adds to where at one point I had a card, I can't remember what it is, that let me destroy any card. It's like the TIE Interceptor or something, lets you destroy any card
Yep,
in the
TIE
row.
Bomber.
TIE Bomber, yeah, just discard a row from the thing, and I discarded my own card because I didn't want Bob to be able to kill him on his turn and
Oh,
get
sure.
the ability.
Right.
You know, like there's just a lot of interesting abilities like that. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's a good team. Yeah, and I really like for the Empire, like the TIE Fighter strategy with the thing, because like TIE Fighters let you draw extra cards, and so like you buy those capital ships that make them stronger.
Yep.
So you're like playing all these TIE Fighters, drawing more cards, playing
Yeah,
more
which
TIE
works
Fighters.
into the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I mean, they're swarming. I mean, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
All right, my number 8, because it is a totally separate game to me, is Ascension Tactics.
at least they were that close. It is funny though that you said mine is Ascension and I'm bunching them all together.
Except this one.
This one is different.
It is different.
fun.
got
This is
minis.
different.
Yeah,
it
I
plays.
get it. It plays different, yeah.
To me, it plays completely different because of the tactical aspect of it, where you are activating
Your
your
champions and
different
stuff.
champions, and you're moving around on the board, and you're still buying cards from the lineup to improve things, right,
Yep,
and get
Yep,
new
yep, no,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can
Totally
actually
forgot about this game.
fight
And-
monsters, and they actually join your side.
Yeah, no,
Instead of
it's
just being dead.
it's just this game was so cool when I played this. I had very low expectations going in.
Yep.
I was like, okay, yeah, we'll play it, whatever. We're gonna do a video on it, and I'm like, whoa, like, this is actually really good. Because you know the version we played or whatever, there was like that King of the Hill aspect, right?
Yeah.
And it was just really fun to watch everybody kind of go in and start walloping. You know, oh well, this dude is like jacked. He's huge. Everybody's got to take that guy down,
that was
right? He's not
pretty
even
fun.
on the hill. Like you got to get him before he gets on the hill.
Mhm.
I enjoyed that game quite a bit. It was really good. I was able to it all made sense because I played so much Ascension that like
The
everything
iconography
else,
made sense.
You've
to me.
also played a lot of hex-based skirmishes.
Yeah, that's
too.
true too.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for
mixing
sure.
those two.
So put two things that I really like a
Right.
lot, like all in one game.
Shuffle them together.
And it actually was it came out really well.
Mhm.
So Ascension Tactics,
Nice.
I do feel like the tactics aspect of it makes it different enough for me to qualify that
As
as
a
two
separate
different
thing.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
experiences. And I actually like tactics more than I like regular Ascension,
yeah.
We
just
know that's-
because of the
That's
extra
why.
stuff.
That's how.
Right,
That's how
why it
lists
was
work.
rated
That's how-
higher.
yeah. That's
how lists work.
because
Well,
of the list.
actually, I don't know. If it was any of our 3 lists,
Oh,
that
they're-
would make
they're
sense.
in
But on
order.
yours, it's
They're all kind of the same.
I'm a wild card,
arbitrary.
baby. I'm a wild card.
top 10, top 10, top 10.
List.
10.
10.
I genuinely forgot this game existed
Oh.
until you
Oh,
brought it
no.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
played
did
it that one time. I think
Mhm.
Mike and I won. I think I was on a team with Mike and we won or whatever.
Okay.
It was a really fun game, but
Yeah.
I totally forgot it
Yeah.
existed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my number 8. I've also only played a few times, but I mentioned Ascension as the cool factions. I think they play really well. This game takes the factions, makes them more interesting, and that's Shards of Infinity is actually the one I'm
Oh.
doing. Shards of Infinity, I think, has a fantastic faction system in it. I think there's a game that has a better faction system in it. But Shards of Infinity, basic deck builder, buy the cards, activate your faction, do all this stuff. But there's also this interesting. So there's this asymmetric power thing, but then also the players. It's like if you can get to 20.
Yeah.
Power, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
You activate your nuke ability basically that everyone has, and you just win. So if you can get an engine that's building up this power,
Because
I
it's
don't
a
remember what
dial
it's
that
called.
you rotate.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
dial.
yeah,
Yeah, and you can spend it for some stuff, but if you get it to the 20, you insta win the game by activating that ability.
Well, you got to play the card that has it.
Sure.
So you can have
don't
it at
just-
20, but you
don't
don't have
just
that card in
spend
your
it,
hand.
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, a fantastic deck building game. This is actually funny because this is one that I bought the expansion a year ago because I was planning on buying the game, and I still haven't bought the game, but I haven't gotten rid of the expansion because I want the game.
I was trying. I knew we had in this game store that we film at. I knew they had the expansion. I'm like, I need to buy that thing. And I went to buy it, and it was gone. And Dan's like, "Oh yeah, I bought that."
I mean, you want it for like $10 or something.
I'm like,
Supply and demand.
I'm like, yeah, you had to be nice.
You got a
to
nice
that
copy of Thunder Road up there.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
they'll trade you
That
his
expansion ain't that
base
nice.
game.
That's barter. No, but yeah, you might hear about this later. It's very well
you
loved,
probably will.
especially in this group. Shards of Infinity is fantastic.
Okay.
Shards of Infinity?
No, it's DC Deck Builder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it's not one. Oh,
No.
it's higher up. On your
No,
list.
it's not.
What?
It's not.
No.
What do you mean you can't believe it hasn't been mentioned yet?
Yeah, it's honestly, I think Tim grew out of it.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I grew hair and I grew out of DC Deck
with
Builder.
that one. And isn't that the one where you have that expansion with the metal?
Oh, Dark Knight's Metal?
Dark
Yeah.
Knight's, yeah. My memory sucks, and one of the problems I had with this was like, I love that game. I have no idea what it's called.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah. There's several like standalone box expansions, and then you can buy like faction packs, smaller expansions. So if you like the Arrowverse, right, from the
Yeah,
CW
yeah.
show, you could get that.
Is it screenshots though?
It is,
I was
which
like,
sucks
I like the
because
Arrowverse,
it doesn't like
nah.
integrate
Rest
super
doesn't-
well
yeah.
with the rest.
Right.
But there's like a Watchmen set that's pretty fun, and
Oh.
things like that.
Oh, do you have that one? Because I
Yeah,
want to play that.
yeah, I got
Which
that.
version?
Does Tim have it?
It's the comic.
Okay, the original. Okay.
Good. Yeah, because
Um,
I do want to play that.
But yeah. So, and again, it plays not to. You go ahead and do you want me to explain how
Oh, yeah,
it
you
plays?
explain. You
It's
know
pretty,
a lot of than I
It's
do.
pretty straightforward. I don't step on his list.
What?
It's pretty straightforward though. Your cards have power. You generate that power, and you're buying cards from lineup to add to your deck. There are factions, different types of, there's equipment and villains and heroes and superpowers. All of those things can trigger off of each other. Sometimes those superheroes will trigger off of superpowers, so it's not just like, oh, buy all of one kind, because you are able to, there are cards, especially in the later sets, that trigger off of other types of cards. Also, though, you get asymmetric player powers because you're going to pick a superhero that you're going to use, and they're going to give you a different power
Yeah,
from everybody else, depending on what box you're playing. Could have a specific version of that superhero, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and it doesn't take too long to play. I've always had a good time when we play
You're
it.
playing
it's,
Tim.
it's well,
Doesn't take too long to play.
Once he crushes me,
Yeah.
and it's an IP that I like, and I mean,
The heroes
say.
are fun, but it's one of the worst games for a runaway leader, in my opinion. Because once somebody has a big turn and gets a really good card, there's almost no catching them sometimes.
You still got to draw it.
I also don't feel it so doesn't matter, but I don't feel the factions in that come across as well, which is, again, it's just a theme of what I'm talking about today. The factions exist, and they do work, and they are cool. I don't think they feel as cool as the other games I've listed. That's all.
The strongest one really is like the Heroes United with the Green Lantern. And if you can get those power rings,
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That one jams.
Yeah.
Like that's the
That was
best
a really
one.
good one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
All right.
with as far as factions and
Right,
stuff
right.
there.
Number 7. Speaking of factions, the Juggalo family is a great faction to belong to. Into the Echo side is a great deck builder game. It works a lot like DC, but better, where you have factions that actually like trigger off each other. It's got awesome art. It's got a cool theme.
And a useless Wheel of Fortune.
It worked for me.
Yeah.
I still
If you like rolling a die, you can still do that in this deck building game by just doing Wheel of Fortune stuff and rolling the.
Yeah,
right,
it's just
this-
hard. There's not enough of those cards in
Yeah,
the
There could be
that's
more.
True. The person
needs
who
to be
gets
more.
it,
Yeah.
it's true that it's like the person who gets those cards has a really fun time with the wheel, and no one else
I think
matters.
one of the
Right.
expansions adds a lot more of the wheel stuff.
Sure.
to
The
it, but they
unobtainable
are
expansion.
Extremely difficult to come by.
You're right though that the factions in this one are fantastic.
Yeah. But other than that, it plays a lot like DC.
Yeah, it does. There's like a main villain,
Yep.
and you get through
Yeah.
that stack of villains, and that triggers endgame. Most
Yeah, they
points
call
at
them
the end, game
epics
wins.
though, and they actually join your deck, and I guess and they do in DC too.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number 7. Oh boy. Shards of Infinity, for everything Dan said. It's a fantastic game. I absolutely love this game. It plays super fast. It's very straightforward. Also, one of the fun things is because you when you are hitting your opponent and you're taking down their health, you can recruit these champions that stay out in front of you, right?
Yep.
They've got health, and so you've got to damage them and destroy them.
Right.
To get,
It's like what we were talking about with Star
with
Realms and stuff.
Yeah.
Through them first.
And this game just does so many things very well. And I always have a good time playing it, win or lose. I think it's a great game.
Yeah,
And-
it'd probably be on my list if I remembered that it existed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think I played it. Maybe once at like Village Well. That's
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
Really.
My number 7. I would be surprised in a very happy way if anyone else remembered to put it on their list because we only ever played it once. And I loved it. This is the game I know the least about. Like, it's going to be really hard for me to tell you how it plays because I played it 2 years ago, one time. But it is the Twilight Imperium of deck building games. It was amazing. And they're
Oh.
called Imperium Classics
That
and
was last
Imperium
year.
Legends. I
At
couldn't
Gen
remember.
Con.
I couldn't remember. I said 2 years ago. It was 1 year ago. I would be surprised if you guys remembered, but I'd be very happy because I was just going through everything and I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that game was so good. But again, it's this insane, it's like a Civ
I couldn't
feeling
rember
game.
if this was a deck construction or deck builder.
Yeah, I don't
I
actually-
left it
I-
off.
I
I
watched-
left it off of my
I
list
watched-
because of that.
a little bit of gameplay and they were buying cards.
Okay.
And I was like,
That's it.
that's good enough for me, boy. But you're right that it's more if you have an asymmetric construction deck you're starting with, and then
Yeah.
there's those cards in the center
add.
that you can add, and you're going through the moon phase.
But this game's fantastic.
I just-
1,000,000% fantastic.
Even if this was a deck construction, which I'm completely against being on this list, I'd probably still put it on a 10 because it's so good and no one knows about it.
Yeah.
It is a completely underrated game. Look it up because literally I feel sad that I can't explain to you how it plays because it's been so long and I only watched a little snippet. I wanted to watch a full
And
gameplay.
we played it, and it was also after a full day of Gen Con.
It was
It
after
was
a
a
full day of Gen
late-
Con, and it's like a
yeah.
3-hour game or something. Like it's
It was
so
intense.
big.
We were playing a high player count.
right,
It was
high
a
player
learning
count,
game.
first time.
We
there
took
was like
in
one
classics
person.
and the regular
And
and put them
mixed
together.
it.
And
Yeah.
Legends, I believe.
Legends. Yeah.
I still just like remember that the feeling I had.
Yeah,
playing it, though, of
it's
just like,
really good.
I
was
remember that
fun.
being like a moment of like I will remember this game.
Yeah.
Like I might not remember how it plays, right? Because I play so many freaking games, but I remember going like Imperium Classics, amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just want to tell people that I was blown away with
Yeah.
how deep.
I need
the
to own.
decisions
I
you were
need to
making
own
are.
these games. I
They're,
want to
they're
buy them.
pretty
both.
affordable.
I've got
too.
one of them.
Yeah.
I just and then there's an expansion coming soon.
It's been on a wish list. Yeah, the
Yeah.
third one that's not Classic Legends and whatever.
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's been in my wish list for a long time, but I'm just like, who am I gonna get to play this game? Is the problem? It's such a deep, time commitment and everything, but just fantastic decisions, and I can't wait to play it again, and then hopefully we can review it so we can actually tell you what it is without you just having to go Google something right now because I can't tell you how it plays. I just remember it feeling like a Civ builder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just have this thing you're building, and you have like all these different farms and kind of stuff that you're doing on cards.
Deck
to
building
activate.
Civ game sounds awesome.
Basically. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't give you more. I disappointed myself doing this, but Imperium Classics, Imperium Legends are amazing, and you can buy cards and add them. I don't exactly remember how it works, but
It's
close
like
enough.
Osprey games or something like that.
Yeah,
Osprey
Osprey
games.
games. Yep.
I did not know about this game, and now I'm
I
wishing.
believe you played it with us at Gen Con.
Not
No.
classics. No.
Weren't you at Gen Con with us?
I thought
Yeah.
I think it was Gen Con. Wasn't it JuliaCon?
No, it was Gen Con.
Was it Gen
It was
Con?
definitely Gen Con.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
You
with
were
these
there.
Cards.
You
I
played
haven't
it.
seen these cards before,
You played it.
but I want to play it.
Anyway. Oh, and the only other thing is on BGG it lists as deck builder, so I win.
No. Actually, it lists it as deck, bag, and pool building.
Works for me.
Still allowed.
The BGG deck building
I think
thing
it's
is
weird
broken.
because they have that and they have deck building. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
why?
Who knows?
I don't know.
I could be wrong about this one. It deserved to be mentioned.
No,
It
it's
definitely
good enough.
deserves to be
Good enough.
mentioned. I couldn't remember what category it fell
Yeah,
into,
yeah.
so I left it off because I
it,
didn't want to.
It was an honorable mention for a while, and I was like, I just like the game too freaking
Yeah,
much.
it's really
I'm
good.
putting it on.
And we've all only played it once, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it made a very lasting impression on everybody but Spencer.
Yep.
Totally forgot he existed.
Well, there are not dice in it. So.
That's
why it's
true.
on my list.
Yeah.
Number 7 for me, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
I put that up with DC. I actually like it more than DC deck builder.
Hopefully.
I like the IP better. I really like making those combos, especially with Iron Man.
Sure. My biggest beef with legendary systems, though, is that the font is so tiny at the bottom. So when it comes time to sort them out, it sucks.
Oh, sure.
I
hate
actually
having
don't
to
mind
sort
that
those.
at all, but my thing is similar to where I think Legendary is a fun game. It just takes too long to set up and
get
do
you?
everything, especially if you have
No.
everything for
Did
it.
they have
Like
a digital version
sorting
of it?
out sorting out okay, we're gonna play against this villain. He's gonna have these schemes, and I'm gonna play as this guy. And we're gonna have these cards. And which set are we using? It's just like I have the legendary one.
Mhm.
Sorry, they're all legendary.
Yeah.
I have the Firefly one. And the art sucks, but whatever. It's
Yeah,
still
the
playing
ugliest
through.
one,
It's
yeah.
still playing through Firefly, and that's fun. But I literally look at it, I'm just like, it's not worth the 30 minutes it would take to set it
Yeah.
up. And
Oh,
then
sure.
and then you have to
Wow.
tear it down and reorganize it at the end
Yes.
because everything's shuffled then.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. And so that's my beef with Legendary.
I'm the same way. I have the Marvel one and the Alien one. I just don't want to play either one.
So it's on my list because I don't own it and I don't have to do that.
Yep. It's always set up when you play.
you have is it set up? Yeah, I'll
He's
play.
like, hold on, Legendary has to be set up. It's always on the table when
it's ready to go.
There.
I don't understand what everybody's problem is.
Yeah. Again, that's just me. It is a really well made fun game. Especially the later ones add the cooperative mechanic, which is where you can activate each other's cards.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is an awesome mechanic to have in a game like that. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, because the later ones go more as a co-op, where
Yeah.
Marvel Legendary and Marvel
first.
I want to
Villains
declare a winner.
is
it's
can be played
yeah,
as
it's like
semi-co-op.
semi-co-op.
can
yeah.
be played as
Yeah.
co-op, but you also just play for most points
Mhm.
at the end
Yeah.
of the game.
It's a fun game.
I'll probably
If you
talk
say
about
so.
it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Number 6. So my number 6 is Ascension Tactics.
Hey, did you just add it?
Oh, I didn't add it. It's been
Oh.
there the whole time.
So
Oh,
now the
okay.
question
Well, no,
is
but you were like, oh, Ascension Tactics in with the other Ascensions.
Yeah,
But you didn't mention
Why
Ascension.
I did right. I did
Okay.
Ascension, and then specifically Tactics was my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah, yeah.
version of it.
Yeah, it's the best version.
Yeah, it's the best
Okay.
version. So
Agreed.
So you're
Oh,
saying
yeah,
that technically right now you're saying Ascension, and then you're not gonna have Ascension later. You're saying
correct.
Okay.
I
was
grouped
just wondering.
all Ascensions
Yeah, that's
into
fine.
one, and I just say Tactics is my favorite version of
sure,
those.
no problem.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yep,
Yes.
we've talked
Great
about
game.
it.
We
Quite
talked
a bit.
about it.
It is-
If you
it
want
is
to see
fun.
what I have to say about it, rewind about 30 seconds or whatever, then jump back.
Not
Or
just
we
that, you guys
probably have
reviewed it,
videos.
right?
Oh yeah, we have a
Yeah.
review
Yeah,
too.
there's a
There you go.
video.
You can really see
Click
what
on
we
that
think
little
about
eye at the end of the video, and it'll list everything that is related.
Right on. Right. My number 6 is going to be Spencer, Marvel Legendary. But I also lumped in Legendary Encounters, specifically,
Yeah, same thing.
specifically the Alien and the Predator version. Because here's the thing: is Marvel Legendary. I have a ton of stuff for. Yes, it can be a beast to set up, but if you're playing and you want to it's like I want to be the Fantastic Four and I want to take on Galactus. You
Right.
just set up that scenario and you
Right.
play it.
Mhm.
And if you get whomped, which you really can, that game could smack you around. It's not hard to just go back and reset for that
For that mission.
and play again.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, I've got mine organized where pretty well, so I can do setup and teardown pretty fast. I took a lot of like cards and label maker,
Right.
stuff to make it go a lot better. So same thing with like the Alien version, right? I've got all of my scenarios spaced out and
Right, that adds a whole nother interesting thing to sorting because it's like, okay, well, I need to have these 3 chapters go together, and
Yes.
chapter 1 needs the cards in this order, like as you're playing
Yes.
through the story. So yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing with Firefly too.
But the cool thing though is that the way the Alien one plays, I mean, it's so on theme. It is so much fun because somebody could get a face hugger,
Yep.
and have the chest burster as your wound card, and when you draw it, there's the way on the board where the cards move and you're going to reveal what's there, and so you've
Yeah.
got like the tracker kind of thing, so it really gives you that Aliens vibe. You can also mix the Predator and the Alien version together, right?
Alien
So
versus
there's
Predator.
so there's like crossover there, really interesting things you can do with it. For me, it is one of the especially before Another Glorious Day in the Core came out, like it was like the closest experience that I could get to playing a legit straight up Aliens IP, and it feels exactly like the movie, right? Because each scenario plays like each movie. So it was a very rewarding experience. I have a ton of stuff from Marvel Legendary. I really enjoy it. I love all the wild character combinations you can do. Yes, it can be a beast and a pain, but like it's fun to just like, okay, it's not I'm going to bring this game to game night and see who wants to play it. Like it's not that kind of game.
For sure.
I could do that with DC. I could do that with ICP, you know what I mean? Ascension
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Legendary's like, all right, guys, come over.
yeah,
We're going to play
Legendary's
this.
almost you had it
Yeah.
set up 2 days previous.
Yeah.
And you've just been waiting.
You're like,
Like,
let's go.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a little more of a planned event kind of thing. And you're going to like, let's just try to beat Thanos,
Right.
like let's, do, which is really hard, by the way.
It should be.
Yeah, it should.
They didn't, in fact, at first.
It took twice, at least 2 attempts.
Yeah, they had to reset the game back up.
Yeah, they did. It usually is how it goes too. So it's still on theme. No, it's really good. There's a ton of stuff for it, and there's lots of access to different types of the same character depending on the expansion. Like I like to just play, like put all the Spider-Man like versions of Spider-Man out there.
Yeah,
and
you're
mess
doing
with
like
that.
into the multiverse.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
there's different things you can do with that. So I find it really enjoyable. I think it's really good. But I don't disagree. It's a beast to set up and tear down.
Yeah.
There's effort and work.
Exactly. Just
put
like how
into
I
it.
don't disagree that it is a very well-made, fun game.
But
you know?
yeah.
The last thing I'll say, I guess, is I wish that the Alien one had a mechanic to where there was like a faction that just got mixed in with everything else that was like corporate, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And they were very powerful cards, but if you ever drew your hand and had 2 or 3 corporate cards like in your hand, you instantly
You go-
turn to
you
the
go
other
evil.
team or something. Like you
Yeah,
turn
I
rogue.
feel like
I
there
think that'd be a
was-
cool thematic thing to work in, and like, hey, listen, I really need that corporate card, guys. Like, look what it does. Yeah, but you already have 3 in your deck, Tim. You're going to turn evil.
Get 'em at
Like,
the same
I think that'd be
time.
interesting.
Yeah. Look into my eye.
Yeah.
Sorry. I like that card too. I just like the art on that card. Anyways, go
Okay,
on.
so my number 6 is I find it funny that it's this high because if you watch our show, I actually usually talk crap about this game. But it's not because I don't like it. It's because I think there's a superior game that doesn't get it as much love in my game group, in the general populace it does. And that's Lost Ruins of Arnak. I just tend to be the one in the group that kind of poo-poos on Arnak. And again, it's not because it's bad. It's just because I would rather play other games. But when I'm looking at all the deck builders I own, and actually the first thing I did was I went through my top 50 list, right, that we did a video on, and I took every deck builder that was from that, and then I kept them in the same order because that's how they were in my top 50. So that's how much I like them, right? And then I filled in holes with other games that I hadn't ranked yet or hadn't played yet at that time and stuff
But
like
there's
that.
so many other things in that game than deck building.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't put it in my list.
Yeah, I guess it's a deck builder though, right? Like that's I guess that should have been mentioned. The caveat thing is that by deck builders we're talking about games with deck building as a mechanism in it. It doesn't have to be Dominion, like just deck building, right? Can be obviously, but if the game has deck building in it, like, well, I won't mention it because games will be mentioned later.
No, I
Yeah.
had to change all my. Oh.
Yeah. But anyway,
Spencer's like,
that was a caveat thing.
which ones were they? Can you name them? I've still got some holes in my list
But
to fill out.
Arnak is like Indiana Jones, I guess.
Yeah.
You're going around on
Yeah.
adventures, you're fighting mythical beasts, which isn't the Indiana Jones part, and you're collecting treasure, and you're
be
doing
aliens.
knowledge. I don't remember what the knowledge track is called.
Research track.
Research track. You're doing the research track, and you're just building your deck and taking actions and trying to win. It's
a really good game. I played it once.
It's a great game.
It's
I had fun
fun.
with it.
Yeah.
Expansion's good too.
You haven't played with it yet, yeah. I'm interested.
Expedition leaders.
Yep. But yeah, Lost Ruins of Arnak, it will probably be mentioned later.
Hey, Dan.
We'll see.
Asymmetrical player powers.
Yep. Everyone knows what Arnak is.
Yep.
All right. My number 6 has already been talked about, Star Realms.
Oh yeah,
Because
right on.
we play it so many times, so often. And since it's got an AI on my phone, I can just.
Yep.
I got 10 minutes, play a few
Knock a
games.
fight
And
out.
the easy AI it's very fun to
Oh, no, I do hard
smash
AI.
them. Well, I can't.
Oh,
The free
you
version only lets you play easy.
Oh.
But
It is fun to smash him, yes.
it's fun to smash him into the ground. It is.
Oh no! My favorite thing to do is to make certain he discards 5 cards every round, and that's
mean.
every round.
Yep. That's
Wow.
very
I love that.
so that's called a solo game in case you're wondering, Spencer.
But one of the things I like about it is that the expansions, some of the expansions in particular, add a lot that really change the game. And there are some that I think I'm not too fond of. For instance, the Gambit one can be a little too powerful. It can be a little too swingy. That's why I don't want to play with that one. If I get the right 2 Gambits, and my opponent gets 2 Gambits that don't really do anything for him, he has no chance. And that's why I'm like, that one, it can unbalance the game too much. But the Heroes one I like a lot because when you buy something, normally it goes into your discard pile, and you got to wait for it to come back. Or sometimes it goes to the top of your deck and you got to find a way to draw it. But the heroes immediately come out and are ready to use it. It can't be affected from the other player in any way. And they can be very, very strategic.
Yeah,
It adds that nice
they can proc
strategy.
like an ally ability or
Yeah, they proc all the allies. And you get to choose when they go off, which is why it's strategic. Yeah, Star Realms.
Nice.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Number 5.
Number 5.
So, getting to my part of the list, where there's probably going to be a lot of crossover,
Yeah.
except for this one will be on nobody
It's
else's list.
garbage.
It's a fantastic game that combines civilization and deck building.
Oh.
Monumental.
No, it's not good. As a matter of fact, I forgot it was deck building.
Yes.
It was on a lot of. I was again. Whenever I do a list, I make my list. Then I go to the forums and I go, "Did I forget anything?" And people were mentioning Monumental like crazy, and I was like, "It's a deck builder." Like I
Yes.
played it. I don't remember
Because
that
you're
at
buying
all.
cards to add to your deck, then those cards get laid out in a 3x3 grid, and you're choosing a row and a column to activate. And then those cards you'll get to do those actions.
Yep.
Those cards go away, then you fill those holes back in with the cards from your deck.
Yep. Then, Bob, don't talk for about 30 minutes. And that's how long it will take to get back to your turn.
So one of the big complaints about this game is, yes, so you're activating 5 cards, and then you can trigger other effects too. So that can lead to a lot of wait time for the other player, which is one of the biggest complaints about this game. In 2 players, it's really not bad at all. It's just kind of going back and forth. But they are releasing an expansion that's been in the works for like 2 years, but there is movement on it. They had a bunch of problems, but they've been super open with people in the emails and everything, keeping up with like what's happening and whatnot. It is on the way. I believe it's called African Empires or something like that is the expansion, but it's supposed to deal with the downtime situation. So I don't know if like we're all going to be picking our rows and columns to activate and then just doing like 1 card around each time to try to keep it, flowing better. But then there's also like the board with area control where you're moving your guys around and attacking and trying to control areas and zones and cities. And it's just a really neat, like that whole build that grid and then choosing what rows and columns to activate is a super cool mechanic. And I really enjoy that. And I want to see that come to more games.
Yeah,
totally forgot about
it. It was
this
a really interesting game in the most part, and I'm not kidding. There was obviously it wasn't happening every single turn, right? I don't know, but there was literally a time where I looked and it was 30 minutes before my next turn, and I was just like, Bob, I can't do this. Like this is crazy. So, yeah,
The art's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's got cool art. It's got cool minis. The minis all kind of repeat. So your one dudes all look the same, right? Then you have your leader guy or whatever. But the hexes are
that's
big and
right.
beautiful. Like the art is really cool on it. And yeah, hopefully that'll fix the downtime situation. But even said, like I've played a lot of Civilization games before, and if you get a big army in Civilization and a lot of units, your turn can take 10, 20 minutes. And so while a little unfortunate, it's just like, well, you should have a big army too, and your turn will take that long, and you have to move all of those units, and it does take time. So.
Well, and I just think that part of it is, again, because I don't mind long games. Downtime sucks no matter what.
Sure.
Like, even in a 10-minute game, like, if you somehow have a lot of
Wait
downtime,
for 8 of that. Yeah.
but, like, because I don't mind long games. I don't mind thinky games, crunchy games. I don't mind all these things. It could have just been I didn't know I was going to that because it just seemed like a simple enough
Straightforward.
hex-based, Civ game like kind of thing. And then you have this cool thing. You're activating cards. Cool. Okay, I activate this and this. Wow, that was really fun. Are you kidding me? Like, I just wasn't ready maybe. So, okay.
All right. What, number 5? Woo! My number 5 is the Star Wars deck building game.
Hey.
I enjoy that game quite a
More
bit.
than Star Realms. We got him, boys. Please make a digital version.
It's really good.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
for everything that everybody said about it, it just does some really neat things. I went in with high expectations. I was very excited about it, and I was not disappointed. I just really love all the things that it does. I think it's really good. I won't belabor
Rehash
the point.
it. Yeah.
But really good, really solid game. Strong recommend.
Yeah. And if you go to your FLGS, some of them might still have copies with sleeves taped
Yeah,
to the
the
boxes.
sleeves are
Ours has
great.
one sitting out on the shelf still. So if you're in the area,
Sleeves are great.
come
The
and
sleeves
grab it. The
are
sleeves
great.
are really nice.
But
I might buy it today. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Cool.
I just
Never
Levi-
mind. Don't come to the store.
Levi
'cause-
hates Star Realms, so I'm like, is it different enough?
I think it
I
is.
think so.
I think it is.
I think it is different enough, but with that much preempted hate,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
like, is it going to be enough to break that barrier? I don't know.
Well, it depends on what he hates about Star Realms.
Sure, that's true.
Might be the fact that he hates that it's so obvious that what you're going to do is so
I don't know.
obvious.
My number 5 is my only. Yep, right. My only. No, it's not. It's a pure deck builder is what I'm trying to get at, and I was trying to make it intense, and then everything fell apart. It's a pure deck builder. It's better than Dominion, and that's Arctic Scavengers.
Yeah.
Probably will not show up on their list. I really
Honorable
wish they
mention.
liked it as much as
only
me.
played it once.
Was it only the ones? I thought we did after that.
Yeah,
because that
if-
was for a roulette then.
Yeah, if I played it more, I'd like it more.
Um,
I thought it was really good. I
that's
like
fine.
what it does.
It's basically for all you Dominion lovers out there, because everyone loves Dominion. Except for me.
No.
It is very similar.
you're
It's
safe.
a
You're
it's
safe.
a
You're
pure
safe at
deck
this table.
builder. You have a basic market. The difference that it changes is there's no. So Dominion, I know, has the money cards. God, I haven't played in so long. I don't like the freaking game. But
They
Like the
don't do
point
anything.
cards that
yeah,
are
they
dead
don't
weight.
do anything, but they're like end game stuff, right? So Arc Scavenger doesn't have that. Instead, it has a fighting system. So starting after like the 3rd round or something, you're playing your cards and you're doing abilities, but then the cards you have left in your hand, you compare their population value, and whoever's the highest wins a skirmish like fight, and they get to take out of a deck. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's like really powerful cards, and they get that into their deck then. And then every round, you're starting to fight for whatever's in there. There's an interesting junk mechanic. We have a whole deck of junk, and you can do a shovel
Like,
cards
dig
to
through
dig
it.
through that. And you, as many shovels as you play, you take that many cards, and then you pick a certain amount out of it. I don't remember how many. And there's just, again, it's very basic. So if you like the more complicated ones, or if you like games that are like worker placement and deck building, stuff like this is not that type of game. This is like a Dominion, where it's just a very straightforward, very simple deck building game. But I think that it does that fantastically. And I played Dominion and Arctic Scavengers back to back at Gen Con, the first time I went to Gen Con. And I just don't understand how Dominion has lasted so much longer. I'm obviously in the minority, so there's obviously something I'm missing. But I played Dominion, I was like, oh, that was fine.
Something's just hit differently with different people.
Sure, and I think that's people that might have played Dominion first, and they just dove into it and just ran
Yeah,
with it.
sure.
Well, the other thing is Dominion has so many expansions out there, and
So
honestly,
many.
how many expansions of Dominion have we all played with?
Sure, I think I've only played with
3.
one.
Yeah, but
I-
we may
I
not
think mine's
have
only one.
hit the good ones.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
true too. That's true too. And Arctic Scavengers had a leg up, but the first time I played it, it was base game, of course. But when I bought it, it was the one that came with the HQ and whatever. It's like a set because
Recon
of
or
expansion.
something.
Yeah, Recon and HQ. Yep, good job. And it adds really interesting stuff. And so I play with that quite a bit with the asymmetric powers it adds, and it adds like the HQ part is like buildings that you can build that do stuff and everything. So. Yeah, that does have an advantage there, sure. But again, I do recommend to people who like straight deck builders, try Arc Scavengers. It does not get enough love, I think. And so I keep trying to bring it up to people and be like, you should try this. It's also extremely affordable. So
Yeah.
anyway, that is my number 5.
And my number 5 is the one that you guys probably haven't played.
Arctic Scavengers.
Paperback.
Have not
No,
played.
I haven't. People love this game, man.
Yes, it's a word game.
Yeah.
And I love word games. And it's a deck builder. And I love deck builders. How can I not love this game?
Yeah.
That's fair.
So this is a game where everyone starts off with a card. Either it's got a letter or a wild, and you've got 10 of them like normal. You draw 5, and you're trying to make words a certain length. And you've got the market. It starts off where one's on the top, and then there's a bottom row, and there are a lot of not expansions, but different options you can play with. And one of the better ones is you have these little cubes. If you buy from the top one, the one beneath it, you get to put a little cube on, and that discounts it by 1. And so it starts making it more valuable because the cards can be more than 1 letter. They can be worth points. And they can have attack powers and things on them, or they can give you more cards in your hand. I also love that they have another thing. It's not really the market. It's called the common card. The common card is separate, and there's only, I think, 5 of them, but you only have access to the top one. Let's say it's E. You can put that anywhere in your word that you want. But if you make one that says 7 letters, a 7-letter word, you get to take the E. The next one beneath it, 8 letters. The game ends when someone goes through all of those, or when they finish 2 of the piles. But there's also there's asymmetric powers, because you can be given those in the beginning. You have themes. You can get different extra points if you put themes into it. Everyone has to agree, but I mean, come on. It's a fun family game.
Don't be a baby.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much more to this game. That's one of the reasons I love it, is because there are just so many different ways to play it.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't own
hear
it.
people talk about this one a lot.
Maybe
so
I should
get
try
it.
to own it. Maybe I should go out and
Maybe
buy
you
it.
should try to own it.
Yeah, come on.
Cool.
You're ruining all of our lives by not owning
Yeah,
this
by
one.
not buying the games we want to play.
Yeah.
All right.
You did it once with Return to Dark Tower. Can't you
Yeah.
keep doing it? You set a very high bar.
You did. All right. Number 4. I expect to see this on other lists. Deck building is just a small part of things that you do in this game. However, it is a fantastic game, and if you have not played Taverns of Tiefenthal yet,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. What is
I
it?
didn't
Do
even think
it.
about it.
do it. Yeah, fantastic game. Everybody has their own little modular board where you're trying to build your best little tavern that you can. And you have a little deck of cards, of the mini cards. And as you're playing out your cards, you can be recruiting more cards to add to your deck. You can be flipping over different boards in your tavern to try to make more beer, sell more beer, and bring more people in. And there's an expansion for this somewhere. I haven't been able to find
It's
it
not
yet.
out yet,
Yeah,
as
it's
far as I know.
still,
It's still in
it's
Europe
out in
only.
Europe,
Yeah. I don't have cool
course.
friends.
You do. Julia's got it.
Yeah.
Of
Well, I
course she
meant.
does.
Yeah.
I think she does.
She does. But no, it's a fantastic game. I'm sure we'll see more of it later on. But I think the deck building is a cool aspect of it. You get, as you buy the cards, you get to put them on top, which is always really nice. You can
Yeah.
kind of like pre-plan
that's
out
true.
your turn
Yeah.
for next turn by buying the cards you want to activate. And I really want to build a insert that has all of that market like lined up already for you.
Oh, sure.
Like I think that help us set up a lot, and it's just a fantastic game.
Oh man,
Fantastic.
so
game.
good.
Yep. Taverns
So-
is really, really good.
So good. Maybe I'll talk about it later. My number 4 is a game that I don't own, but I am undefeated in when I played this game. I love this game so much. It's so good. I need to own only the first edition, though. I don't want second edition
Oh.
of Tyrants of the Underdark.
I was gonna say I thought I had it,
Oh,
but no, that's not what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's deck building.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
But you played my
so-
copy more than I have.
So the thing is you do the deck you do the deck building, but then there's a board where you're moving your guys around as
Right.
well. But then you have to choose at times where you're going to get rid of cards from your deck and you're going to score them. You know what I mean? You
Oh.
put them away.
Yeah.
But so they're gone out of the game, and so you got these cards with these amazing abilities, but man, they're worth a lot of points. So you kind of have this like it's not worth anything if it's in my hand or in my deck.
Sure.
Like so there's that balance of
But you're buying them from a market.
Yeah, when
though?
yeah,
you-
you buy them from a market.
Okay.
You buy cards from a market.
I've
Man, I
never
gotta play
seen
this
the game.
again.
Oh,
No, me
it's so
neither.
good. But
I know.
Cool.
Trade me?
not that.
Hey,
If you
Tim,
like Drow,
my first edition's out of print.
I know. First edition's what I want. I'll trade you Mike's Dwellings of Aldervale for it.
Okay.
Sounds good. It's a deal. You heard it, Mike.
Man, that dwelling's been traded off a lot.
A lot, especially if you're in the Discord.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, it's gone everywhere.
That's right.
I have moved that game
Dirty,
so many
dirty
times
game.
for
Yeah.
Mike.
It's been
I think I
passed
got
around.
I think somebody owes me $5 for that game. I sold
Yeah, I
it
think
for $5.
so.
But no, Tyrants of the Underdark is really good. I forget what exactly the differences are between first and second edition, but
it's the pieces.
One's in
It's-
print.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. So the first edition has the little plastic pieces.
yeah, I like those a
Yeah.
lot, like a lot.
Instead of, I think there's cardboard chits in the second one.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of lame.
So, anyways, but this is a game that both times I played it, I've been like, whoa, like this game's really good.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
yeah, it's just really fun.
Yeah.
And I like that aspect of like have the timing of when am I going to just, you know what? I'm going to tuck these cards. These are points now. But it allows you to cull your deck also, right? In interesting ways. Usually if I can get it to like fire off once, you know, and if you got like some card draw, maybe twice before then you get rid of it and then you go on. But really good game, underrated game.
Sure.
Tim, it
I think
says there's
it's
a
really
board
good.
game version with deck building.
That's what it is.
Oh, there's
Tyrants of
another
Underdark?
one. There's another one. Oh, so there's more than one version.
Yeah, first
and
edition,
second edition.
Second edition.
Is that really it?
Yeah, one has
Oh.
bits, one doesn't.
Okay, my number 4.
Yeah.
My number 4 is gonna get me yelled at a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Hey, any of you tiny amount of people that have played this
Are
game?
you calling me tiny?
You haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
You guys can argue with me if you like. Luckily, no one here has played it, so they can't argue with me. There is deck building in the game, but it is such a tiny part of the game. But I put a lot of hours in this game in the last year. I had a really good time with it, and that's Bloodborne, the board game.
I have played Bloodborne, haven't I?
I thought you might
No,
have been the
I
only
played
one that
Bloodborne.
did.
Commence
I played
yelling.
it.
Well, I couldn't remember though if you played it or if you
Yep.
only played that other one at Pete's that's like has similar stuff going on. But so Bloodborne, the board game, is a CMON dungeon crawl game, cooperative. You're going through like the video game, right? And you're playing through a campaign. You technically have to play in order. But so the way the deck building works that Spencer's trying to think of right
Yeah,
now
I'm like, there's deck
is
building?
you have a deck of 12 cards, and on your turn you are playing. You're like drawing 3 or 4,
yeah.
and you are putting them to do the actions. When you kill enemies, you get runes, and when you sleep or rest, whatever, and you go back to the hunter's dream, you turn in those runes and you buy
upgrade,
cards
yeah.
from the market with them, and those cards then go into your deck. And then between sessions, you can only have 12 cards, so you can swap them out instantly. And then between each scenario, you get to take all the cards you have, like you might have 30 cards, and you pick the 12 you're going to use in this scenario. And then those are the 12 you have. Obviously, you'll buy more throughout that game and stuff. It does happen very rarely, though. It is a small part of the game because killing monsters is hard. And then every time you go to the Hunter's Dream, you lose a round.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's a 15-round game, if each person rests twice in a 3-player game, you've taken away 6 of the 14
Oh my
rounds.
gosh.
It is a rough decision.
It's
to
a very
rest.
hard game.
Yes,
but
it's
it
a
was
very
fun,
hard game. Yeah.
And I wanted to play it more.
Mhm.
I don't have a copy.
So again, I get it. The deck building is a very small part, but you are spending something to take cards from a market to put them in a deck and increase your deck. That is what you're doing. It just it doesn't happen super often, but I think it does add to the game. It's a fun element of the game, and you can get a really cool specialty deck going, right? To
Yeah.
where, oh, we know Spencer can take all the big hits, so send him after those guys stuff, right? Because he has a lot of cards that like negate the if you take 3 or more damage, you take 2 instead, like
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff, right? Like you can build decks that like have cool specialties and stuff like that. So Bloodborne, the board game, it is a beast. It takes a long time to get through those campaigns, and it is going to beat you down unless you accidentally cheat, which might happen quite a bit because there's a lot going on. But yeah, that is my number 4. I've just put so much time into this, and I really do feel when that market clears up in the cooperative game and everyone's like, oh dude, that card would be so good for you, we got to get you to kill that guy so you can
Yeah,
get to the
I
market and
remember
get
that
that
one,
card.
yeah.
Like that kind of stuff happens a lot in that game. So
It was a good pick.
Mhm.
My number 4 is Star Wars Deck Builder.
hey, I was going to ask you earlier if you had played it, and I was like, I'll wait.
Oh yes, I played it. Oh man, I mean, you're right. It is Star Realms improvement. I mean, I don't know what to say that hasn't already been said about the game. I had a lot of time playing it. I want to play it more. I'm really looking forward to more, expansions. I want expansions.
Yeah, I do too. I do
Yeah.
too.
I mean, there's so much potential in that game
Mhm.
for things that they could do, especially when you look at what they do with Star Realms. I'm like, how would they implement?
How
these
could you
things?
implement
Yeah,
something
they,
like that in there?
they need to hurry up because
Yeah.
once the TCG comes out for Star Wars, now they're going to
Oh,
have a
yeah.
TCG
There's
and
gonna
a
be a
deck
fight.
builder card game thing that
Yeah.
they're going to have to be coming out with expansions for. So like they really need to give this one legs now, so that next year when the TCG comes out, they can just focus that. Okay, deck builders are happy. Let's just focus this, and then they can start working them back in again. That's just what I'm kind of hoping happens. So
Yep.
let's get these expansions going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
My number 4.
Number 3. Number 3 is a good game.
I hope so.
It's gonna be on at least one, if not 2 other lists in this
Okay.
room. Dune Imperium.
Yeah, saw
Yeah.
that coming.
It's fantastic.
I don't
It's
know
a
how
very
I just
tight.
knew.
Yeah, it's a very tight worker placement game with deck building. It's very thematic. I like how your cards have this symbol on there, and when you play that card to do an agent phase and place an agent somewhere, it can only go to certain locations. But then you have to make sure you keep cards back for your buy phase to buy the cool cards you want to have, and that is just a really neat mechanism to have in the game. You don't have to win fights to win, but it really helps to win fights to win. So many times I think I'm running away with this game, and then all of a sudden people catch up to me, and I don't like it.
The newest expansion also is supposed to add that science track that gives you a new thing to do. So your cubes that go in the fight, the cubes now go on the science track, and it's like a separate thing that you can focus now instead of fighting.
That's
I have not played with it
immortality
yet. Yeah, immortality. It adds like a research track.
Is it of 9 or is it X?
I'm not going to answer this
9?
question.
It's X.
It's X.
Man.
But no, it's a really great game. So I'm going to leave it at that. We'll probably talk about it some more again later. But it's fun.
I can't wait to play this one. You guys talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
It seems right up your alley.
Seems like it might be like if Dan had played this, like really high on
It'd probably be like a 1 or 2 for him.
Yeah, probably like up there. Dan, you really need to play this.
You should
keep
play
saying
this
that.
game.
Blow you away, man.
Yeah.
Blow you away.
I'll bring it
I
next
like
time.
Dune. I read the book.
We know what you like, Dan.
Yeah.
Well,
do we care or usually act on it? No.
Do we use that information? No.
No.
Well, yes.
we do use
just
it.
not the way you would like us to.
It's not in a way that is beneficial to you.
Ridiculous.
Whose fault is that? Is that your fault?
It's not my
It's
fault.
not his fault.
It's not.
Is
Is
it
it
his
fault?
not my
What?
fault.
Is it? Oh, it's your fault.
No, it's
No,
not my
it's not
fault.
your fault.
Oh, it must be.
Oh!
Well, it's a good day for old jokes.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing them.
Sure.
All right. My number 3, I wish somebody else had this on their list. Oh, wait, they did. It's Taverns of Tiefenthal. Taverns of Tiefenthal. The deck building is one aspect of this game, but this game does so many things so well. It also, on top of being just really fun and interesting, is a low barrier to entry. Like it's very easy to teach this game, and then you can
Inexpensive
ramp
to
it up
buy.
with the modules. It's affordable. This game just does so many things that I love.
Worst part of the game, wooden dice. Buy some plastic
I
dice
don't
and
care.
replace them.
I actually really like wooden dice.
They-
At least
they
in
feel-
that game.
they feel on
and they feel
theme.
on theme.
But they're
Yeah.
not
No,
tough.
But they're like you're like, oh, did I just roll something? I can't tell. Something might have fallen out of my hand. I can't tell. These are pine.
Right.
Like, make it out of oak or something with some heft
Yeah.
to it.
Sorry that you're so strong. You can't feel
I
the
know.
weight
I
of-
can't even feel this book. Am I even holding something right now? I don't even know.
Do we even lift, bro?
Yeah, that's right.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
talk about old jokes.
All right. Anyways, Taverns of Tiefenthal is just really, really good. And the deck building is just one part of it, but it's a very important part. And yeah, like Bob said, you put the cards on top of your deck. You're kind of setting up your next turn.
That is a
But
very cool, unique
But
thing.
then when you do shuffle, and it's like, oh man, if I can get like X, Y, and Z, it's gonna be awesome.
And a table and a barmaid.
And I also really like how your deck culls itself a little bit
Yep.
too, because there's cards you can
Place
use.
out.
You can use to make upgrades cheaper. You know, so it just.
Honestly, I just love that you keep pulling until your seats are full.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
part of
That's
it's
the big
awesome.
thing.
It's like, oh, do I draw 5? No.
No, yeah,
you
you
just keep drawing
and
until
placing
your
the
restaurant
cards where they
fills
go until every seat in your spot is full. So you have turns where you pull 5 cards, and you have turns where you pull 30 cards.
Yes.
You have turns where you go through your deck.
You could go.
And it's such a fun mechanism.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I enjoy it quite a bit. Anyways, Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Spoiler: all my top 3 are all crossovers. Nothing fancy here. Good deck builders are good deck builders.
They
And
are what
my
they are.
number 3 is the game with well, first of all, it's like
game.
the only like pure deck builder, which is why I was saying the other one wasn't. It's kind of not, but anyway, it's the one with the best factions. The best factions I've seen in a deck building game is Into the Echo side. They work so well. You really feel like, man, if you have this yellow card and this yellow card and like the it feels so freaking good. Ascension works well. Shar's Infinity works really good. If you like those combos, if you want to build a green deck and a blue deck and stuff like that, I think Into the Echo side is the one that, for me, feels the best when you're building those things. And then, like you said, it has the DC deck builder thing where you're beating off the villains and they give you things when you...
You gotta give me. I gotta play this game.
I love it. I love it, Dan. You keep going, buddy.
Keep going, man.
Keep going.
Just keep
Get-
going.
Those villains are very popular with Dan.
Very
Dan
popular.
those villains all love Dan so much, and I don't know why.
My number 3 was Into the Echo side.
Wait, now, Bob, do you own
And
this?
cut.
I do.
Did you sleeve yours?
Yes.
Okay, bring it next week.
Okay.
Mine's still in shrink.
Okay. I still have an insurance copy too.
Oh, you bought 2?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, buddy. I hope you overpaid for one of those, so then they'll reprint it.
I did not. So
Okay.
you're out
Well,
of
then
luck.
now they're not going to reprint it.
Yeah,
Way to go, Bob.
I know.
If I bought off him for an overprice, would that do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go,
that
okay.
works.
All right, my number 3, which hasn't been mentioned. Oh, it's probably on my list because it's new and in the newness. Is Chemical Overload.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
I didn't play it.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, yeah, I didn't play. I played it. It was fantastic.
It's really good.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
just
yeah,
had a
it's-
successful Kickstarter.
it
Yeah.
did.
Oh, so when it
I
comes
think
out,
so. Wait,
go
did
get
it?
it.
Yeah.
Did it already go to Kickstarter and was successful?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Jeez. Way
Oh
to
my
go,
God.
Tim.
It
I know.
was already on Kickstarter.
Okay,
It
that's
was.
it was successful then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't remember which one it was. The one where when you buy a card, it goes on the top of your deck.
Yeah.
Yes.
That really lets you strategize your move. It also has tableau building. So in this one, you're trying to build a potion with different ingredients, and you need vials. And the vials are of different sizes. And so the different recipes that you need will need different sized vials, and they go on the table, not in your hand.
Yeah, they stay out.
Yeah, they stay out until you use them. And there's this, I really liked even the recipes. They do cool things.
They
and-
change up too. They're
yeah,
not
they
the same.
change up.
There's
There was
so
a
many.
lot
So many.
and some of them are really powerful, but also very expensive. And you can buy up the upgraded money, the blue and red.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ingredients.
better versions of the
Ingredients.
ingredients.
Yeah, and so you need the blue and the red in order to get the greens. But of course, maybe there aren't many green ones that you need or want. They also have that.
There's that poison track on the
poison
side too.
track.
Yeah.
with the toxic effect on it. And that was pretty fun.
That was cool. I forgot. Man, that's a good pick, Spencer.
Yeah.
It's a really good pick.
I remember.
Hey.
I remember playing it, but
Is there an app though for Into the Echo Side where it's like a dating app where you can just meet the
wish.
the villains from it and then
Oh.
do whatever you want with them later? Just checking.
It's a joke about what I said.
We're talking about chemical overload.
Remember? Come on, Bob.
I was like, wait, what? I was like,
I thought he was gonna say the game's so hard to get. Is there an app that like shows you other people that own
yeah,
the
yeah,
game so
like,
you
this
can
guy
play?
owns it.
No. I just want to know how Dan is meeting up with these villains and becoming very popular with them.
So it is
People
by-
like me.
So Chemical Overload is by Rebirth Games.
Yeah, Rebirth Games, awesome game. Really glad we had an opportunity
Yeah,
to play that
that was-
before it
that
came
was a
out.
good time.
It was sad. That was one I was sad to like have to send off
I
to the
know.
next
Sure.
guy.
I
but
backed it though.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, so down to number 2. Number 2, another fantastic game because that's the way lists work. Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh,
Much better.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just incorrect.
They're so close to me,
Well,
but I love the science track.
here's the thing though: is if Dan had played Dune Imperium, I would think he would rate this high. Higher.
Correct. I would think you would too.
If he had played them.
But the nice thing about Dune, the nice thing about
Yeah.
about Druins of Arnak.
Oh, that's what he was gonna say.
That's
That
what I was
makes
gonna.
sense.
Obviously,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Is you unlock new worker areas too, right? So as you're exploring in the jungle and you find new temples, and then you defeat the Guardian. Now that's a
Do you
new.
beat off the Guardians, or do you just?
Yeah, you gotta beat them off that area, and then they'll do a favor for you, right? After you beat them off, they do actually. You earn their favor, and it's victory points, and also like a little bonus thing to be named later, and you also unlock a new worker placement. So yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. Super fun.
Great.
I really like the
That
look
is-
of that game.
That is the one thing Dune needs. If I had played it and I understood,
Oh, right.
I've watched some videos and
Uh-huh.
like new worker placement spots.
awesome.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah,
I think
if that
that's
game you
huge.
haven't played did that.
Yeah, well, in all fairness, it would make almost every worker placement game better.
It does. Yeah,
So-
it's definitely improved on any game that you put it on.
Yeah.
Which we just put on something. What was the other game we just played recently that had the ads worker placement? Darwin's.
yeah,
Review.
Darwin's.
Yeah.
Great game too.
Yeah.
Check that review out. Yeah, anyway.
Also suffers from Runaway Leader
It-
or Runaway Loser.
runaway ship.
Yeah.
Oh God, where's it going?
Hit that P though, please.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2 may come as a shock. It is DC deck building game.
That is a shot.
It actually is
yeah.
slightly a shock because it's a deck builder's not number one. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't your favorite game anymore.
It's
but-
got to be. It's got to be. It's got to be something else.
But anyways, DC
got-
deck builder does
It can't be two things. At the same
for me. It just hits all the right spots. It was a game I got into early when I was getting into this hobby, as I am now. Right, I always liked board games and stuff, but as I've gotten into the hobby as like a collector and just really into it, this game, I just love it. I've got all of the big standalone expansions. I don't have every single little small one because it's like, I don't need that. And then I'm going to end up getting them eventually. But anyways, it's just a game that I consistently enjoy. Even when I have a bad game, it's usually over soon enough. This is a game at holidays I can play back to back, a couple of times. I can just bust out the different sets because the different sets play differently. And so they're like the Forever Evil set is not as much fun. I still have it because I use those. I will take all of the heroes and villains from the sets, shuffle them together. I've house ruled it where we play with like 2 heroes. I haven't played my Injustice set yet, which adds like a whole different like meter and board to it, which is additional
or
ways.
the Flash one, right?
Yeah, or the Flash. The Flash is a 2-player version.
Yeah.
Flash
I
versus
figured that's why I
Reverse
hadn't
Flash.
played it yet.
So I'm really, but again, right, this is a game that I've been playing for 11 years and I still look forward to playing it and have a good time. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. It is definitely, there are better deck builders and there's things that implement the same things, but I just have so much fun and have had so much time in this game and enjoyment in this game that it has to be very high on my list because I love it.
Okay.
So DC deck building, all of them into one. My number 2.
My number 2 is Taverns of Tiefenthal.
What?
Yeah.
If only, guys, how did I not have this on my list?
It's
I don't
just
know.
that good,
It
guys.
is that good.
So I'm not going to repeat everything that we've said, right, with the great deck building and everything, but also if I just mention as a game, right, because this is top 10 deck building games in general, right, the dice drafting feels great when you do it. Like, it really feels like you're accomplishing things. The upgrading your thing by literally removing tiles of your player board and placing them over and flipping them over and stuff feels great. The actual buying cards and then putting them directly on top of your deck so that you're drawing them first next round. Now, remember what I said earlier, that you draw until your seats are filled. So you can just buy chairs as your last action and put them on top and know that you're getting at least 2 extra cards this draw from that. And you're just drawing and drawing and drawing.
And those wooden dice, they feel so good when you roll them. They're so light and airy.
The fact that all the cards, all the artwork lines up with everything. So when you're
Oh,
drawing,
yeah.
So when you're drawing cards, you're placing it where it goes on your tableau, and all the art lines up, and you're putting them next to each other. So you have 6 cooks going out, which is upgrading this thing, and you have all these guys over here with the beer barrel that are upgrading this thing, and you're basically creating a bigger player board that then gets discarded. And then you're creating a bigger player board that then gets discarded. The game is fantastic. It's Wolfgang Warsch's best game. It's how do you say the production, something Spiel. I can't think of it right now.
You could just get the North Star games
Oh,
version.
that's true.
That's
North
the U.S.
Star,
print.
right. The North Star games, they're amazing. This game is fantastic. Not enough people have talked about this game.
Yeah,
Play
it got
guys.
overshadowed by Quacks.
Exactly. Schmidt Spiel is the one I was trying to think of. Yeah. Just please play Taverns of Tiefenthal. I genuinely think it will improve your hobby life. Your experience
it is
in the
fantastic.
hobby.
It's really good. It's really good.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's you, Spence. You're after Dan.
And I can shut
Yeah.
this off
Still.
now because everyone knows what's coming.
Also
next.
true.
What's coming?
We
Go,
can't
your
tell
turn.
you
Wait.
what it's your
Oh,
turn.
I thought
That's how
you
lists work.
knew what I was going to
No,
say.
No,
Okay.
not yours.
No. Oh, so my number 2, and I'm actually surprised it's not here, is Clank.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of that.
Just so there's so many different Clank ones, especially there's that Clank Adventures one where we were going around the map and you had to the monsters and you had to do swords in order to go down the paths that had monsters on them, and you had to be able to get
Clank Adventures. That's in every Clank.
Well, no, this one is Adventure Party.
Adventuring Party.
Adventuring Party.
That's just a
It's the
add-on
ex-
that you can
yeah,
buy.
it's the
Yeah, it's a
it's
small
the
box
add-on.
expansion.
Okay, okay. Yeah, but
Yep.
it was fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a classic. It has lasting power. They have a ton of expansions for it.
Yeah.
And it's a good game.
Sweet.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned it.
well-
Clank in Space is amazing.
So you just made me laugh really hard when
I
you said that,
know,
especially
I
because
know.
I was like, wait, I did put Clank, but we're on 1. What happened? So I just looked at my
Oh, no,
phone.
too.
I have 7 as both Clank and Imperium classes. I wrote 7 next to 2
Oh,
things.
ha.
so Clank's my 11. Literally, when I was ordering it, I made 2 7s. That's hilarious.
You
That's
just
how
only
lists
one.
work, Dan.
Yeah,
Yay!
I'm a dum dum.
It happens. It
All
happens.
right.
Yeah. But-
So
and we have Clank in Space is
Clank in Space
I think
is
it's
my
probably the best
preferred.
one.
I haven't
It
played
is
Space yet.
fantastic.
board.
It's my
I
preferred
love
version
it.
out of all of
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
All right. Number one.
Number
Waited all day, and now we're here. Clank, baby.
Yeah. Really, number one.
It's so
I
good,
can't believe
yeah.
nobody's talked about
I
this
can't believe
yet.
nobody's talked about
Seriously
Clank.
though,
It's so
even
good.
that's crazy because that means Tim's is probably Clank too because he hasn't mentioned it. And that's crazy because like again, even if it was on my list, it'd be 7. It's good. But
Yeah, clearly.
But the
continue.
thing is,
Or
there's-
second 7.
But there's
Yeah.
just second
What about
seven? 7Zs and 1Zs. Yeah. But no, there's just like you're saying, there's so many. As I was trying to go too much into it, because I knew I was about to go off about it.
Yeah.
There's so many versions of it that are so good. I've played all the way through the first Legacy game, and it's so great to like be adding the stickers to the board and keep playing. You kind of like upgrade your character a little bit to where you're getting different cards in your starting deck, so it makes it a little more asymmetrical, which is I believe what the Adventuring Party does. It makes your starting deck a little more asymmetrical. And then the Catacombs version that just came out is by far my favorite version because all of the, because normally it's the board, the normal board. It's like, okay, well, everybody has like their game plan going, well, I'm going to run down, I'm going to grab that one, and I'm going to GTFO, and like everybody scramble to get one and get out fast enough.
Before the darkness happens.
Yeah, so like, and I just think that the Catacombs one handles that so much better, where it's like, because you don't know where anything's at, and you got to keep going out and exploring and putting all these tiles out, and it just adds that exploration element, which I always enjoy in games. And then plus like some of the cards are just hilarious, right? Like the Emperor, and it's a cat. Like, because every Clank game's got to have a cat in it.
Right.
And
the Jidu with his light sword.
yeah, yeah. And there's just so many cool just little like Easter eggs in there. And it's just a great, well done. One of the first games to play to me that really took board games and deck building
100%.
and mixed them together. And they just been knocking out of the park with every single one I played. And it's fantastic. If you haven't played any version of Clank, get out there and do it. Cannot wait for the new.
Catacombs is a little harder. I would say just you're more likely to die.
More likely
if
to die.
that's gonna bother you, play one of the other Clanks first.
To me, it's not that you're more likely to die. It's that if you don't want to die, which is fine, it feels like it forces you to build your deck a certain way, and I just don't like that. There are so many swords.
You need more moves.
I'm just saying there are so many swords on paths, or monsters, I mean,
monsters
on paths that you need swords.
Yeah.
There are so many more in Catacombs that you have to build that into your deck. In Clank and Space, you don't have to. Like you might
kind of get past some of that stuff,
but I just don't like that it forces a certain type of deck building.
But they also that in that set also include a lot more cards that have both move and sword on them.
That's true. Oh, yeah. I've only played it twice, and I just had kind of a negative experience with both, with the way it felt like deck building was. You know, I don't care that I died both times. The second time I got really close, which is a good feeling in games usually. You know, oh man, right on the edge. I was just like, okay, I guess I'll buy the sword cards because I don't have enough in my deck yet, and I need them. Like that's my only thing. I need to play it more.
Spencer, how dare you, sir? How has Clank not been mentioned yet? Because it's my number one.
Number one.
Clank is my number one. Clank is so good. It does so many things so well. I'm sorry you've had not an awesome experience with Catacombs.
I love Space.
Catacombs is my go-to. Now it is my go-to. I love it. I think it's great. But I will play any version of Clank any time of day, whenever you want. That is somebody rolls into game night and it's like, oh, you want to play Clank? Yep.
Okay.
Like, let's do it. Because it plays relatively fast, hour and a half.
Yeah.
You can play. It's easy to teach. It's easy to teach new people. And it's pretty straightforward because on your turn, you plop down your cards. You're going to choose I've only got so much moves, so that means I can go this way or maybe this way. I don't have any swords. I don't want to take damage.
Right.
Or I don't have a key, so I can't go that way now, so I got to go this way.
And one of the great things to me about this game, too, is that it's a great introductory game to where it could teach people deck building types of mechanics, the different like iconography as far as, this money is used to buy, or this icon means you can buy cards from here, this fight symbol you buy from here, and the gold you're going to save to buy stuff from the market. So as you can introduce iconography to people.
Exploration tiles. Exploration tiles too. Not to the Catacombs one, but I mean the little
circle ones.
Yeah,
sure.
But all aspects of Clank, I really enjoy. I mean, for me, it is just a great time every time I played it, win or lose. I don't care. I just have fun. The jokes on the cards are hilarious. There's also like that tension with the bag draw.
Yeah, dragon tag, pull some cubes out.
I just need I've got 2 cubes in that bag, and if you draw one of them, I'm dead. You know what I mean? And so it's
good tension.
It's just really fun. It does a lot of things I really like. But Clank is my number one. So thank you.
Sweet.
That's all.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey guys, the best deck builder ever made is Dune Imperium.
Did you already mention it?
No, he's not mentioning it.
He did.
I did.
We were joking about him not playing. Never even heard.
Like, oh, Dad, if you ever played this
I
game.
just don't want to go out on a limb and say that's also my number one. So we can talk about it together. There we go.
Yeah, Dune Imperium. So it's a super crunchy, tight worker
Oh,
placement game, which I really like. I really like the tension of having to build your deck in a way of knowing that, like what Bob was saying, your cards that you play depict where your worker can go. That is a very interesting, and it's why it's so tight, right? Like it leads into that, but that is a very fascinating thing of being like, you draw your hand and you go, I literally can't go to the blue area of the board this turn. So how do I take advantage of this turn or try to go somewhere that like lets me draw cards or something, right? To try to go where I want to go and stuff, right? And there's the faction part. The left side of the board is all the different factions where you're leveling up your relationships with the faction stuff. And those cards are hard. Those cards are hard to come by.
Yes.
You start with 2 in your deck, one of which gets trashed the first time you use it. So it's a one-time use. So really, for most of the game, you only have one. You have to buy some. And so if they're coming up in the market, you might have to buy it even if you really didn't want to do that this turn because you need a way to get over to that left side of the board. And that's the main way to do it. The fighting is a really interesting way to do fighting, I think. Slowly building up your troops in there and then choosing how many to move into the battle and knowing that everyone in the battle dies. So if you come in third place and get you just killed 5 guys for a coin. Yeah. Maybe depending on player count, what you get in the combat thing. The Rise of Ix expansion, I think, adds a fantastic thing. It helps mitigate how combat works with the dreadnought ships. It adds a new technology thing up front, not like a track, but just like these powerful cards that you can buy. It is very obvious how much thought went into the creation of this game with every decision. The expansion has a board in it that covers certain actions on the board and changes how much things are worth because it directly relates to the new things they're adding. And they clearly had put so much thought into, okay, what's the max amount of money someone can make on a turn because we need them to make this much to do this kind of thing. It is clearly a insanely well-designed, beloved game. My only issue with the game is that I think end game intrigue cards are too powerful. This kind of goes what Bob was saying earlier, where sometimes you can feel like you're running away from it, and then you get to the end of the game and someone just gets 4 points out of nowhere off intrigue
on a scale
cards.
of 10. That's a lot.
Yeah. 4 points is a lot.
And that is insane. Now, the intrigue cards that get you end game points are mostly not super easy to get. Like as in complete. But if they can complete them, and some are easy, but if they can complete them, it's too big of a swing. And so I personally take some cards out to up the percentage of endgame cards, so it's more likely more than one person will get them, or take them out entirely. That's another thing. Because when you get the expansions, when you get Ix, and I don't have Immortality yet, so I don't know how many intrigue cards it adds stuff, but like when I got Ix, I just kind of was like, okay, so do I just take the endgame cards from Ix and throw them in, right? Because like I'm trying to change that percentage. That's the only thing that I think maybe wasn't perfectly designed in Dune Imperium, is for such a tight, crunchy game where every decision matters. I could pull 10 intrigue cards and get no endgame ones, and he could pull 1 and get an intrigue card that gives him the game. That is a crappy feeling. So trying to find a way to mitigate that is my one thing that I've put a lot of thought into, of just messing around with those cards and trying to figure out, okay, well, there's 10, so how many non are there? And then if we're playing with a 3-player game, like I'm trying to figure it out because I just wish it was better. But other than that, it's my second favorite game of all time. I think it is a near perfect game, and I cannot wait to get Immortality because this tech tree thing that kind of lets people not have to fight. Because again, I've won without fighting. I've won without winning a single combat. It is very difficult. And so if other people are winning combats and you're not, you better build the best deck you've ever built in your life because it's going to be really hard. So anyway, I know Spencer still needs to talk about it. Dune Imperium is a near perfect game to me. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I believe I gave it a 9.5. So yeah, it was one of my top 3 games. Yeah. And I love multi-use cards, and it has multi-use cards. Like you say, they tell you where you can go, and they have their own powers on the top and the bottom and everything. Oh, man.
And the new expansion adds chained cards, to where if you play a card and you play another card that's the same icon on or whatever, it chains. I don't know exactly how it works.
Do you know if that's going to be compatible with Ix?
With Ix? Yes, you can play both, yes.
Okay, so you're inviting me over to play. When
I don't own Immortality yet, yeah. Mike does,
Mike owns it, hasn't mixed it in, he said.
Yeah.
And why hasn't he invited me over to play?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
I guess we'll be playing it next Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have anything else. You're just very thorough.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're very thorough, Dan.
Very thorough.
That's what those epics say about him too.
was
You're
either Doom
Very thorough.
I would hope that all of us can talk for 10 minutes about our favorite game. You know, like our second favorite.
Yeah,
game,
no,
so.
for sure.
It
Wait,
was
so
either
what was that
Dune or
called again?
Dominion. I mean,
I just hope I get to play it sometime.
But I have a deck builder on here that was kind of an honorable mention that I haven't played
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
and I'm really curious if anybody out there has played it yet. 'Cause
Okay.
I've got it at home, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff for it, and I want to know if it's worth opening. Ether Fields.
Oh yeah.
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 I've
Yeah.
heard good things.
Cooperative deck building game. So that's what it's described as. I kickstarted
Awakened
this.
Realms?
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've got all the
That's
stuff
the one where
for
you're
it.
going through dreams.
Yeah. The
you
art
played
looks
this, right,
super
Spencer?
cool.
I played it, and then I haven't played it since.
Okay.
Where'd you
that's
play
fine.
I
you
need to play
it
it
at?
again. I own it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Kidding.
It's Awakened. It's Awakened Realms, of
Yeah.
course.
That's
Spencer
true,
owns
yeah,
it.
yeah.
He even owns Awakened Realms light game. You know, like
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because I have it. I've been super curious to if I should open it up or if I should look to try to get rid of it or
yeah, maybe
Well, how about-
play Spencer's.
Yeah.
I'll invite you over and we can play it.
sweet. That sounds good. But
Or
we're curious,
maybe
still
I'll bring
curious
it-
what you guys think. Because Spencer,
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
that's
curious
true.
what you guys think.
That's true. As a matter of fact, your number one was Dune Imperium. I think that kind of sucks.
Man, Dan's got to rethink his whole
Yeah,
life.
he put Clank at 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
does. Another honorable mention. This was what I thought you were gonna. I just forgot it. Oh my god.
Okay, so an honorable
Yeah.
one for me was the Hunger.
Yep,
Yeah, I like the
on
Hunger.
here.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
the Hunger
Similar to
Games.
Clank, Legendary was one of mine. Here's one that will definitely not be mentioned. I mean, Tim, maybe, I guess.
Quartermain?
No, Color My Critters.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
waiting for that one.
Yeah.
It's-
I find it really fun.
So,
It's light.
Where's my copy?
Yeah, I was looking
Did you
into
order
that
it, or did
recently.
you back it on
No, I
Kickstarter?
backed on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We could ask.
We can reach out to him,
V-Guard.
Xeno Shift. I don't know if anyone's ever played
I've
Xeno
not
Shift.
played Xeno
That's
Shift.
another cooperative one where it's tower defense. Basically, enemies are going to be showing up in I think it's 3 columns, and each player has 3 columns,
Oh,
and they're
Lord.
going to be fighting through your forces
Mhm.
and killing them one at a time. And you're going to be activating their abilities and trying to you're setting down guys and setting down abilities, but you can on your turn you can give other people things, so you can send your soldiers over to other oh, they're breaking through Bob's line, take my soldier, right? And you can, but not, it weakens my line, but it strengthens his because he's losing, right? So it's like this pure co-op tower defense deck builder. It's pretty fun. I had Aeon's End, and I had
Solar Titans?
no, I
Oh,
forgot
yeah,
about
that
Solar
one.
Titans.
Yeah.
That would I had Quartermain.
Yep.
I totally forgot about Solar. Oh, and I had what was
Solar
the other one?
Forge?
Vigilante.
No, that's not one.
Oh, Vigilante.
Oh, Vigilante.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one I was thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah,
I
Vigilante.
totally forgot about Solar Titans though. That
Mhm.
was really fun.
That was fun. And another one that we played, Northgard. Wasn't there a little bit of deck building in
I didn't
that
play
too?
it. It was
Oh
you two.
yeah.
That was a little bit of deck
Yeah,
building
there
there
was a
too,
little
right?
bit.
Yeah, Vigilante's my number 11.
That's
Sorry.
also my number 11. That's
Sorry.
my runner-up.
I really like Vigilante a lot.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're
Especially
going to
for,
actually be
social
playing it
deduction.
again soon for the Hidden Motive.
Yeah, for the-
expansion.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So-
cool.
Again,
be doing
lots of good deck builders out there, guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't. Yeah.
Do you want to everybody just run through their list real quick?
Sure, sure.
10 to 1. Bob, why don't you do yours first?
All right, so 10 to 1. Aeon's End, Attack on Titan, Star Wars deck builder, Into the Echo Side, Ascension Tactics, Monumental, Taverns of Tiefenthal, Dune Imperium, Lost Ruins, and Clank.
Right on. Yeah, so my 10 is Star Realms, 9 is Ascension, 8 Ascension Tactics, number 7 Shards of Infinity, number 6 I have Marvel Legendary and Legendary Encounters lumped together. My number 5, where'd it go? Star Wars Deck Builder, and then my number 4 is Tyrants of the Underdark. My number 3 is Taverns of Tiefenthal. My number 2 was DC, the deck building game, and my number 1 is Clank, which is the correct answer.
So, question, and Dan and I talked about this earlier too, but I don't think either one of us had played it. How was that listed in the deck and bag building?
It's a hand building, and I took it off because Concordia is you build,
Yeah,
you bind
I
cards,
wanna mention
but they go to your
Concordia.
hand.
They go to your
It's not a
hand.
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why
we
it's not on
haven't
my
played
list.
it. We were just
Yeah,
wondering
we're
because
like-
Mike was the one that said
Yeah.
there's no deck building in it. So
yeah,
he was,
so you there's cards in a market that you can buy, and
Uh-huh.
actually that's what helps trigger the end of the game. Is,
Right, okay, if you buy
but
all
you
the
get
cards.
you get through all the cards, but
They go to your hand, then you.
but they
use
go
them
to your
when they're
hand,
gone.
and then no, they're not gone. You use
No,
them,
use
and
them.
that's your action.
Yeah.
right,
Sure.
but you get the card back. He's saying.
But then you've got to play the card to recall your action.
Right, it's that
Okay,
mechanic.
okay.
It's that mechanic,
Gotcha.
kind of like in Lords of Hellas, right? I can take all these different actions, but then
Right,
I've got to take
then
the
do
one that
that
wipes
one,
my
right.
board.
And don't
Sure.
you also
Okay,
need to
just
buy them
curious.
for the points?
Yeah, they give you
Yeah,
points
at
too.
the
Yeah.
end, at the end of the game.
Just wondering.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, that's it. But honorable mentions would be Quartermain and Vigilante. Anyways,
Ascension, Star Wars, the deck building game, Shards of Infinity, Imperium Classics and Clink,
7,
Lost
7.
Ruins of Arnak, Arctic Scavengers, Bloodborne the board game, Into the Echo Side, there it is, The Taverns of Tiefenthal, and Dune Imperium.
Aeon's End, Ascension, DC Deck Builder, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game, Star Realms, Paperback, Star Wars deck builder, Chemical Overload. I keep doing that wrong.
You do.
Because I want a Chemical Overlord.
Yeah.
Clank, and Dune Imperium.
I think
And
your
runner-up
Chemical
Overload,
Overlord
Overload.
is just your dealer.
Oh, whoa.
It's my wife.
Oh boy.
boy.
She's a chemist.
Yeah, I was gonna
True.
say. she's
And
got
his
access to
dealer.
the crazy stuff.
But all right, guys. So hopefully this list has been fun for you. It's been fun for me.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Put in the comments. What are your favorite deck builders? What did we get wrong? Well, that doesn't count as a deck builder. Yeah. What did we forget? I'm sure we missed some.
Nah.
We missed plenty.
Edge of Darkness or whatever.
Yeah, Edge of
That's
Darkness
one.
was on my list
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
honorable
okay.
mention
Sure,
too,
sure,
but
Mystic Veil. You know, could
I
have
haven't
been on
played
there.
that one.
Yeah, is that more like? Do you have a deck though in Mystic
You
Veil?
do, but you're also crafting.
Correct. I know. I didn't just like the Edge of Darkness,
Yeah,
but
you're
you're actually
kinda
Yeah,
both.
in Edge of Darkness, I
Doing both.
remember you're buying from a market, then crafting, and the cards in the market are crafted, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That one with the book, the luck one, where the monsters can flip either side. Remember?
Wonder
Book.
Book. That's
No,
deck
no, not
construction.
Wonder Book.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.
I know words.
Leave in the comments what Spencer's
Just
trying to
talking
think
about,
of where
yeah.
a monster flips.
It's a solo game.
Deck of Wonders.
Deck of Wonders. I thought you said Wonder Book.
No, Deck of Wonders.
Someone said Wonder Book.
I might have
That's
said
what I
Wonder
said no to. Deck
No,
of
it's
Wonders
Deck of
is what I was
Wonders.
talking
But
about.
that's
what I
deck
meant.
construction.
yeah, deck
Deck
construction.
construction.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no
That's
market or
right.
anything. You just, if you win, you can like add cards in.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
build your deck, and that's the deck you're going to try to beat the villain.
That's what
with.
we avoided this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
next week, top 10 deck construction game.
great.
Right.
No.
But anyways, guys, yeah, let us know. Thank you so much for watching. For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Spencer.
Dan.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.